So really, what has changed in the last 100 years? Well, I think one of the major changes is the amount of oil that's in our diet. And I've given this presentation many times, and I've even had questions from the audience. Oh yeah, but today's diet is almost identical to the past. No, it's not, and let me show you why. So if you look at the top line here under oils in total, there's a 20-fold difference in oil consumption in the last 100 years. 20 times is not the same. And it's worse than that. If you look at the number one oil consumption here, or the second line is soybean oil, that has gone up consumption by 1,000 times in the last 100 years. So, and let me just be clear, I am not against soybeans, whole organic soybeans. Whole organic soybeans are actually a health food. Despite what you may have heard, they prevent cancer, they're awesome. But contrast the whole soybean to specifically the oil, which is an omega-6 oil, which is pro-inflammatory. And it gets worse. If you think about it, it's our tax dollars that are promoting some of these processed foods. So basically, we're subsidizing, and it's not just these processed foods, it's animal products. As taxpayers, we're subsidizing this. And then who gets to pay for the health care? With our health insurance system, some of it gets passed back to taxpayers too. So we're basically paying to promote disease and then paying to fix the disease that we promote. It's crazy if you take a step back and look at this. Okay, so this is from the Pew Research Center. Just another slide to show the difference between 1970 and 2010 in people's diet. And one of the major changes is grain products have gone up and fats and oils have gone up in consumption. And you know what? If the grain products that had gone up were whole grains, I don't think that would be as bad, but a lot of these grains are processed, and that's the problem. So it's the same thing, fats and oil have gone up. And this is another reason I call this the fat trap. You may know Philip Morris as a cigarette company, and they did a good job addicting Americans in the world on cigarettes by adding sugar and ammonia. But, cigarettes had their run and they were looking to diversify. So Philip Morris went and bought General Foods and Kraft. They got into the food business and they used the exact same strategy to get people addicted. So instead of adding things to cigarettes and adding more nicotine or selecting for more nicotine, processed foods, they specifically added salt, sugar, and fat. So, and as Philip Morris's principal scientist, W.L. Dunn, said in 1972, no one has ever become a cigarette smoker by smoking cigarettes without nicotine. They know this. They know that if you add sugar, flavors, and menthol, cigarettes become more addictive. It's no different for the big food industry. So what are some of the things that they add to cigarettes? Things like chocolate, ammonia, licorice, nutmeg powder, dandelion root extract, sugar, prune juice. I mean, some of those things sound good to me without the cigarettes, right? And this example of Artie from a remote village in Indonesia, a little kid who became addicted to cigarettes, and in order to wean him off, his family actually used food, and then his weight exploded. Fortunately, he's off of cigarettes. He's off of food. He's no longer obese. So there's hope. There's hope for him and there's hope for us. And the key is education and understanding this. But But if you're getting your information from the media and commercials from big food companies, I don't think you're going to figure this out. So, there's a truth initiative for cigarettes. What about a truth initiative for processed food? So again, let's make this real. What are things that food companies add to processed foods to make them addictive? Well, here's a partial list. Things like salt, oil, sugar, caffeine, gluten. Have you ever looked at the ingredients of licorice and wonder, why is there wheat in the licorice? It's specifically added because they know if you add wheat, which has gluten, to licorice, it is now addictive. And you're not going to eat just one of those little Twizzlers. You want to eat the whole bag, and then you're going to go back and get some more. Other things that they add are excitotoxins like MSG, saccharin, aspartame, casein, cysteine, and sucralose. And for those of you who went to the sessions yesterday, understand that excitotoxins can actually cause Parkinson's and other neurologic disorders. All right, so there are American laws against advertising cigarettes to kids, but not processed food, except there's been a recent push to get Coca-Cola out of the schools. So some recent things I've seen, people now, instead of smoking cigarettes, are smoking smokeless vaporizer type things, and like Juul. And they're finding toxins, specifically lead and manganese, in Juul and other nebulized smoking. All right. So, and I don't think it matters if your diet is mainly going to fast food restaurants like McDonald's or Wendy's, or if you go to the local supermarket and buy your processed food from the aisle, it's the same. Even if, like in the United States, Oreos are vegan, if your diet is mainly Oreos, that's not a good diet, and your health is not going to be good. So let me go over one of the common questions I get here, which is, all right, so Dr. Josh, you want me to give up oil. What am I going to put on my salad? Well, the answer is you could put vinegar on your salad, like balsamic vinegar or something like that, or you can actually make your own dressing you just don't add the oil. You can use white beans, lemon juice, garlic powder, parsley, onion powder, oregano. Tastes great. I mean, the other thing is, as you switch to eating mainly plants, you're going to find that the flavor of vegetables just pop. I mean, often I don't need to add anything to my salad. The flavors are amazing.